Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us to learn about the impact of mentoring on successful integration of new Canadians as part of our monthly Ensemble webcast series. My name is Sarah Gaughan, and I'm the Senior Manager of Diversity Initiatives here at the Mining Industry Human Resources Council. MIR, as we're commonly known, is mandated to identify and address the HR and labor market challenges and opportunities for the Canadian minerals and metals sector. We collaborate with mining and exploration companies, organized labor, contractors, educational institutions, settlement service providers, industry associations, and Aboriginal groups. Also, if you're located in Vancouver or you're going to be in Vancouver soon, I'd like to invite you to come and learn more about what MIR does and our work here with Ensemble. Connect with other members of the network, as we're going to be having an informal networking event on August 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. So you can RSVP in the network website in just the same way that you RSVP for today's webcast. So now on to the topic of today. In 2016, MIR conducted research exploring the experiences of immigrants in Canada's mining sector as part of our Strengthening Mining's Talent Alloy series. So we discovered that there's many significant barriers to entry for immigrants to Canada that are seeking employment in mining. Some of those include biases, challenges in settlement in remote and rural Canada, awareness of industry opportunities in order to access the opportunities and jobs that are available, as well as skills and credential recognition, and that's just to name a few. So what we found in our research as well was that many job seekers attempted targeted direct entry into the mining sector. But given all those barriers to entry, direct entry into a mining company is not always an easy path, even for those immigrants with advanced education and mining industry experience. Some research participants commented that it took them between 2 and 4 years to land a job after arriving in Canada. One clear recommendation arising from our research study was to support building successful career paths into the sector for immigrants, and to do that, to really develop mentoring or networking relationships. So that brings us to today. So we are very pleased to share a model of success in mentoring and invite mining to participate. We're joined today by Nicola Johnson-Young, a marketing and business relationship professional with Triac, the Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council. She's been with Triac since December 2015, and she joined in order to implement the employer engagement strategy to support employers in the Greater Toronto Area to undertake immigrant inclusion programs in their workplaces. In addition to working for the not-for-profit sector for almost 2 years, Nicola has extensive experience in the areas of marketing and relationship management, spanning across various industries in the private sector, including finance, insurance, hospitality, and tourism. She's worked in the Caribbean and North America with a diverse range of internal and external stakeholders. Her expertise includes marketing, negotiating strategic partnerships, corporate relationship management, project management, and community engagement. Nicola holds a master's in marketing and management from Loughborough University in the UK, in addition to an honors degree in hospitality and tourism management from the University of Technology in Jamaica. She has a passion for building immigrant inclusive workplaces and socially connected, engaged communities. And to really bring this topic of immigrant inclusion and mentoring to life, Nicola is going to be joined later in the webcast by a mentor from the Mentoring Partnership Program, Bhaskaran, who is a partner at Deloitte, and he's going to speak about his experiences. So we're going to hear from Nicola for the next 40 minutes or so, followed by our Q&A session with all of you. So hold your questions until the end, and then you can type them in the Q&A box, and we will get to them as we reach about 12:45 in our webcast. So let's begin. Nicola, I'll now turn it over to you to speak to the powerful impact that mentoring can have in today's war for talent.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a pleasure to join everyone here on this webinar today. Thanks for having me, and thank you for making time in your schedule to participate with us. So to begin, I wanted to really start with an overview and an introduction of the Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council, Triac. So Triac is a multi-stakeholder leadership council that really exists to help employers make the most of the GTA's culturally diverse labor market and create immigrant inclusive workplaces. We really serve as a neutral third party that puts stakeholders together to build capacity and employer value. We're not an immigrant serving agency. Instead, Triac is really a convener, a connector, and collaborator in the effort to fully engage immigrant talent. Sustainable relationships with these key stakeholders that are seen here. We work with employers, professional associations, educational institutions, or community partners and all levels of government. Sustainable relationships with these key stakeholders are the foundation to Triac's success. We also provide connections to other immigrant employment councils, which I will show later on in this slide. For any employer that is not in the GTA, they would also be able to connect to these immigrant employment councils in their location. So about Triac. Our vision is a Greater Toronto region that prospers by fully engaging the contributions of skilled immigrants. Our mission is to create and champion solutions to better integrate skilled immigrants in the Greater Toronto region labor market. We want to create a GTA that really prospers by fully engaging the contributions of skilled immigrants. And we do this by supporting employers to create workplaces where immigrants can thrive and contribute to their fullest potential. So our unique role in the sector really began when Triac was established in September 2003. And it was established as an initiative of the Toronto City Summit Alliance, which is now Civic Action, and Mentee Foundation. It came about as a result of meetings that identified the integration of skilled immigrants as a key local and economic priority. And its founders really envisioned it as an entity that would bring local stakeholders from across all sectors to create solutions to this issue. So as you can see from this slide, we're really focused on creating awareness of the value of immigrant talent, supporting employers to be immigrant inclusive, bringing organizations together to facilitate better coordination and collaboration with an employment focus, incubating new solutions or new and better ways of doing things. And as an incubator of immigrant employment solutions, we really collaborate to conceive and pilot new immigrant employment solutions. And then we really focus on scaling up what works. And you'll be able to see that through our programs, which actually leads us into the mentoring partnership program, which we'll be discussing today. So as an employer partner, having heard or having gone through the presentation, should you wish to connect, I am the employer partner contact at Triac. Here you will have my, my contact details on your screen. Feel free to contact me. Please do not hesitate to contact me should you have any questions following this webinar presentation. So the Mentoring Partnership Program is a program of Triac, and it's a collaboration with service delivery organizations and corporate partners to provide occupation-specific mentoring opportunities to skilled immigrants in the Greater Toronto area. It really is a large-scale program which provides experiential learning for developing cultural competencies and is really based through a knowledge exchange. Now, currently, immigration plays a very important role in keeping Canada competitive in a global economy and is helping to offset the impact of an aging population and a decline in the labor force. Canada's immigration target for 2017 is approximately 300,000. So more than half of the individuals that will be arriving through what is termed the economic immigration programs, which means that they're all internationally educated professionals. So as an employer, being prepared to recruit diverse individuals and manage cultural differences in the workplace is key in the Canadian economy now. And improving the recruitment and selection skills of HR professionals, plus embedding cultural diversity into professional leadership programming really promotes positive long-term success in diversifying your workforce. The mentoring partnership really offers the opportunity for employers to stay ahead of this global to local phenomena and more effectively reach the population they seek to serve. So launched by Triac in November 2004, the mentoring partnership really matches recent immigrants with a mentor who works in their professional field. Mentors support skilled immigrants in their job search whilst growing as leaders. And the idea is that job-ready skilled immigrants who are mentees gets insight into the Canadian work culture from their mentor and builds their professional network, all with a focus to help mentees better leverage their experience and skills in the local labor market. And the mentor learns as well. They learn how to be a leader in a labor market that is becoming more and more diverse. So for this, you will see on the slide, we have the mentee, who is the skilled newcomer professional, who is matched with a Canadian professional of the same occupation. The mentoring partnership is really focused on occupation to occupation matching, and the aim is really to help the mentee reconnect with their career here in Canada. The focus of the mentoring partnership really focuses on what we call a win model. And the overall goal of the program is to, one, reconnect the mentee with their careers in Canada. But during the partnership, mentors will share insights, ideas, networks, which assist the mentee to develop an effective job search plan. So we'll have the WIN, stands for W, which is workplace culture and understanding Canadian context of the occupation. When it comes to information that the mentor will share with a mentee, information is about the profession, the industry, the sector. Mentors can share occupational trends and information about professional development activities and keywords to be used in resumes, for example. On the end side is really about networking and developing professional connections. Networking is often cited by mentees as one of the most valuable things mentors offer, along with encouragement and support. Mentees get skill development opportunities from the agencies or service delivery partners, which I will delve into later. But there's really an ability here for the mentor to connect the mentee with their colleagues, their HR department, or others in their occupation. And one thing I really need to note here, that this is the nature of the partnership, is really based on workplace culture, information sharing, and networking. Mentors are not required to find a job for their mentee. Success is not defined by your ability to find a mentee a job. It's really about helping the mentee make progress in their job search. So in regards to the partnership, the commitment is really 18 hours over 3 months, and this will be effective August 2017, which is next month. Currently, our partnership is 24 hours over 4 months, but this is being reduced effective in August. How it's broken down is it's approximately an hour and a half per week, and that totals 18 hours for 3 months. Mentees and mentors decide the relationship focus, the pace, meeting locations and times. So the program is really flexible and it matches the needs of the mentee with what the mentor has to offer. Each partnership is supported over the 3-month period by a mentoring coach, and mentors have access to a variety of resources. Mentors have access to a variety of resources that we will discuss later. So there's also a lot of support by being a mentor in the program, or even being an employer partner in the program. We offer orientation. In addition to your mentoring coach, you receive orientation. There is a mentoring handbook. There is the online dashboard that provides a whole host of resources that can be used. And then there's the Triac Campus, which is an online resource center that's really focused on providing learning materials and learning resources for individuals on inclusive leadership, cross-cultural communication skills, and recruiting and assessing immigrant talent, for instance, without unconscious bias. So it has over 100 learning resources that an individual or an employer can utilize in the day-to-day operations of their organization. So who can be a mentor? As outlined on the slide, it will be a Canadian professional, a professional established in Canada with professional networks and connections, has a minimum of 3 years work experience, and really have the time to commit to the 3 months mentoring relationship. The mentor's role is really to maintain regular communication with the mentee and to encourage and support and guide them in their job search. You go through activities like mock interviews, helping them to understand informational interviews and how to present themselves, how to request information interviews, and as well as how to present themselves, and also share information or your insight around soft skills. So on our mentee side, they're all newcomers to Canada with less than 3 years experience in Canada or recently in a bridging program. A bridging program is a program that gives support to skilled newcomers in specific areas to support them to learn more about the landscape of their occupation here in Canada. They're internationally trained but lacks Canadian work experience and professional networks. They're either currently employed or underemployed, and they're generally job-ready candidates. Literally, our mentees are internationally educated professionals who are really just needing to receive help in getting their foot in the door when it comes to understanding the Canadian landscape, the Canadian market, and how to position themselves as they go on their job search journey. So in relation to the program structure, TMP is really a collaboration of stakeholders. We have on the right our community partners. We will call them our service delivery partners or community partners. And these are organizations that provide employment services to skilled immigrants, and where our mentees are actually introduced to the program. We currently have 12 active service delivery partners. And then on the other side, we have our corporate partners or employer partners, we like to call them. And these are employers who are willing to participate in the program and have their employees become mentors within the program. And currently, we have 28 active corporate partners in the program. And in the middle, you have the Mentoring Partnership Program, and that is administered by Triac. We're really the program administrator. We handle all of the administrative back end. And overall, from a program perspective, we've had to date over 13,000 mentoring matches. Over 8,000 mentors have joined in the program. And generally, we have very good results. Currently, we have 75% of mentees are employed in their field at 12 months after completing the program. And then we also have mentors who have outlined to us, at least 98% have stated that they were satisfied with their mentoring experience. So in regards to the match, the mentee and the mentor are actually in a partnership that is supported by a mentoring coach. So as a result, they're not in this partnership alone. They do have a support of a neutral third party. Mentoring coaches are experienced professional employment counselors who have recruited mentees and are working with them to achieve their job search goals. They're the key contact for the program, and they coach both the mentee and the mentor during the partnership. So they're really there for support. Mentors can always reach out to their coach and ask questions, seek guidance, or if they actually just need additional resources that they may not be able to find on the dashboard, or information that they're not gathering from the mentoring handbook. They actually have this individual that they can connect to and get assistance. So when it comes to the mentoring support that we provide, we actually, as an employer partner, should the organization decide to partner with Triac, there's actually a lot of support that is given in building awareness for the program. We provide, for instance, marketing collateral such as brochures, digital or emailable flyers and posters, customized messaging, for instance, for any of your internal communication channels, such as your intranet. We will provide that support to an organization. We also do on-site orientation session and information session to really build awareness of the program, gain registration, and then orientate both the mentee and the mentor on the roles and the program information, sharing the mentor support resources, and then really just doing an overview of like interactive cases that will highlight sample situations that may occur during the partnership. So in relations to our employer partners, here you have an outline of our active TMP employer partners. And as I mentioned before, we have 28 active employer partners. And to date, for instance, employers such as CIBC, City of Toronto, TD Bank, they've achieved over 1,000 matches to date. And then we also have employers like Deloitte that would actively partner with us in the mentoring partnership program. But not only that, they also sought to deepen their engagement with Triac in other ways, through participation, for instance, on our board. In regards to our service delivery partners, as mentioned, we have 12 service delivery partners and 2 referral partners. And some of these names may be familiar to you, and they cover a broad range of agencies and institutions throughout the GTA. They really focus on helping job seekers reconnect to their careers in Canada, and they also offer bridge training programs as well that give support to skilled newcomers in specific areas to support them to learn more about the landscape of their occupation in Canada. So just to highlight some key results that we have been able to showcase from the mentoring partnership. Having conducted, a survey in our program, it really showed, as I mentioned, that 75% of mentees are employed in their field at 12 months after completing the program. 98% of mentors were also satisfied with their mentoring experience, but also 96% also stated that they had increased understanding of some of the differences in workplace norms and expectations among different cultures. So it really does, this is a program that provides benefit to both the mentee and the mentor. So why partner with the mentoring partnership program? So this is really to outline the benefits of an employer partner. So establishing a relationship with Triac as a corporate entity in the mentoring partnership program. It really focuses on enhancing leadership training to your high potential staff members. It also helps your employees gain coaching experience through a cultural diversity lens. You're actually able to build stronger cross-cultural teams through that knowledge experience that they were able to garner from the mentoring partnership. They can now leverage that in their work world. And then they can leverage the TMP program as a talent pipeline. We do have employers that actively work with us to recruit through the mentoring partnership program. And then as an employer, you're actually able to achieve objectives for community involvement and volunteerism, and really build your organization's profile as a good corporate citizen. So in 2015, we did another study that really showed the mentoring partnership had significant economic and social impact. The Boston Consulting Group did a study for our mentees, and it also showed that through our program, mentees are accessing better paying jobs faster, and that this drives greater benefits in the form of higher federal and provincial tax revenues. The study showed that $10.50 is returned into the economy for every dollar that is invested in the program. On the social side, mentees actually go on to share their learning with other skilled immigrants in their community, and this helps them to be further successful in employment. By being paired as well with mentor in a successful mentoring relationship, mentees yield benefits such as improved psychological well-being, quality of living, and are less reliant on any assistance as a result of securing gainful employment. So those outline the benefits, the survey results, but from a mentor side, we also offer professional development for mentors. So as you can see, we offer a professional development series that covers workshops, webinars, online modules, mentor and mentee networking. So in addition to impacting the life of a skilled immigrant, mentors can use their experience in the program as an opportunity for professional development by participating in the Mentor Professional Development Series. Through our Mentor Professional Development Series, we host workshops on coaching skills and cross-cultural competency. We provide monthly webinars with tips on assisting mentees in job seeking. And every second month, we also host networking events where new mentors can meet other mentors across the program to network and share strategies on helping mentees. Since we've launched the Mentor Professional Development Series, over 2,200 mentors have participated. Mentors who are also members of HRPA and CPA, they can also earn professional development credits for their participation in the Mentor Professional Development Series. We provide a signed letter indicating the hours completed in the mentoring relationship or the Mentor PD series, and that can be submitted to HRPA and CPA for professional development points. So it really provides an additional benefit to mentors as well. So having gone through the program, I would like to say this is an opportunity to help your employees become even better leaders in tomorrow's diverse workplace by joining the mentoring community. They can gain the opportunity as an employer to deepen your organization's community engagement and further elevate your brand as a good corporate citizen. And you can also build stronger, more innovative, and culturally competent workforce. At this time, I'd like to introduce Bhaskaran Rajamani, who is Partner Risk Advisory at Deloitte. Deloitte has been an employer partner with Triac in the mentoring program for many years now, engaging employees as mentors in supporting immigrant professionals reconnect to their careers in Canada. Bhaskaran, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be part of this call. And Nicola, thank you for including me as part of your agenda here. I really appreciate it because as a passionate mentor myself and Triac ambassador, it's my pleasure to be part of this call and share Deloitte's experience. So I'll just build on purely a experience perspective from a Deloitte as well as personal perspective. I have a few roles from which I will be talking today over the next 5-6 minutes. I was the Deloitte partner responsible for Triac coordination from an employer perspective for several years, and I recently rolled off that to another colleague of mine by name Daisy Vora, who is running it now. So I have that experience over the years. And I was also a board member at Triac for 5 years, and I just recently rolled off that as well. But I continue to be a mentor, and I will never roll off that particular role. And I've been a mentor for a number of years of new immigrants to Canada through the Triac program, the mentoring partnership program that Nicola articulated just now. Deloitte has been an employer partner, as Nicola said, for over 8 years, 10 years, 8 to 10 years now. We've been with them for a number of years. Our engagement with Triac is part of Deloitte's overall program and commitment to the community that we work with and do business with. So we have a number of programs with different organizations, and then Triac is one of the key organizations with whom we deliver our community services to the new immigrant community. And Deloitte engagement is driven right from the top of the house. It's not something that somebody in the lower echelons of the Deloitte management is trying to do. It's coming directly from our chairman of the board and other senior partners, in terms of the importance of this employer relationship and keeping it healthy and fully delivering on our promises to Triac, fully leveraging it for what it is worth for Deloitte, and making it a very positive experience for everyone concerned. And as of today, we have about 200 active mentors in Deloitte in the Toronto area, in the GTA. And this number keeps going up and down. There are people who do a part for a couple of years and then they roll off. There are new mentors who come. So we try to keep this number active, but it's not the same mentors who lived through the last several years. It keeps up and down, but as of now, the count is like 200 active members. And based on my experience, I can say that that's roughly the number that we've been maintaining throughout in the last several years, plus or minus 10 or 20. We have had about 500 matches. I recently did a count over the recent last 18 months, I would say, or more, 500 matches, which means a mentor is matched with a mentee, and they've spent the 18 hours that Nicola talked about. So 500 of those. To put it in context, CABC said they have more than 1,000 matches, and so I think we are definitely doing well in terms of keeping that going. For those in the call, my key message is this relationship as an employer partner of Triac has been a win-win-win approach, right? So how do I say that? It's a win for our professionals who sign up as mentors, because in Deloitte, we consider mentoring skills to be absolutely essential for leadership development. So if people want to get promoted in terms of what they're doing, let's say a manager is wanting to be promoted as a senior manager, or senior manager wants to be promoted as a partner, we consider mentoring skills to be absolutely very important and critical for that. And this Triac mentoring service it's an excellent place to start, and it's an excellent place to exercise some of those skills and become good at it. And then Triac, to their credit, offer good training programs for mentors to do their job effectively on new immigrants, and that helps us a lot in terms of developing that skill. So it's a win for our professionals, and not only because they hone their mentoring skills as part of the leadership expectation from Deloitte, but also contribute to new immigrants and make their life and make them earn their first job in Canada and put bread on the tables in their families. It's really a very, very noble thing. So they feel very, very good about that. So it's a win for our employees and professionals. And the second part for the immigrants, it's certainly a very pleasant experience to be part of it, because they obviously get connected to the right network. They get the right kind of feedback on their resumes and the interview skills. We do a lot of mock interviews as part of the 18 hours. And then they really are very highly successful in landing their job, even within in my experience, I've not even spent more than 5 hours. people get jobs, because you really can connect them to the right network and right focus on the season of recruitment, etc., etc. They typically get in no more than 6 hours of time spent with them, they get a job, and then they go away. So I think it's really very, very positive in terms of the return on time that we spend with the immigrants. And then thirdly, we feel proud being part of organizations like Triac that convene this interchange to happen, right? Because we need to be part of this, and we really commend Triac for what they are doing, because without them, we cannot provide our services. We cannot go and establish that connection. We cannot go and establish that, we cannot convene that. So if they are doing that, it's easier for us to plug into it and benefit from it and deliver our services. So we really feel very good to be employer partners with Triac, because it's been a win-win-win for us in many respects, and so much so that we've actually sponsored some of the Triac networking events by providing our location or providing other forms of support. And we've also obviously provided our time by being part of their board, etc., for a number of years and so on. So overall, my message is that this is an excellent idea in terms of the relationship with Triac, and it's got a lot of positives in it. I don't see any negatives at all. It's a win-win-win relationship, and I would certainly think for any employer, new employer who's considering to be signing up their employees as mentors, it's a great idea, and definitely welcome it. And I'm sure to the extent questions are there, Nicola can answer. I'm happy to answer any questions as well. And then that's kind of my my part of the prepared remarks that I had, Nicola. So feel free to. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much for sharing those experiences with us. Bhaskar, it sounds like, we can hear your passion coming through the phone for this program and your work with Triac. And Nicola, it's wonderful that you shared with everybody just such an example of a well-formed program that's got, fixed inputs and fixed outcomes, and those outcomes have been obviously incredibly successful. Seeing what 75% of your mentees achieve a job by the end of the program is just really, really exciting work. So thank you both so much. Now we're going to move on to the Q&A portion of the call. So I invite everybody to go ahead and enter your questions in, and we will do our best to answer them. But since I'm hosting, I get the honor of asking the first question, and I have a couple here that I've jotted down, more than I normally would. But Nicola, do you have any mining corporate partners on board yet? I see that some of the companies you listed there have a mining practice. For example, I know EY, Deloitte, Dentons, they all have a mining practice, but I didn't see any mining companies themselves rather than suppliers participating.
Correct. No, you're correct. We currently don't have any mining organization as an employer partner as of yet. But we will be very excited to work and explore collaboration opportunities with those employers.
Yeah, and I think that's a great opportunity for the mining sector, and especially those corporate head offices that are based there in Toronto, because if you don't have any mining companies on board, wouldn't it be great to be first to market there to access this talent pool and kind of really get a heads up over your competitors? So there's a call to action there for mining companies to look at how they can participate in this mentoring partnership. And is there a cost to participate in the program as a mentor or a mentee?
No, there isn't any associated cost at all to participate in the program. Our Triac is a government-funded program. We're funded by Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada primarily, as well as other funders. The programs of Triac are all delivered to skilled immigrants as well as employers at no additional cost.
Well, I think that the benefits seem like they're huge. So having no upfront cost is, even makes those benefits even stronger. Another question here. I know in mining there's been a lot of focus and programming related to the mentoring of women and youth in our sector. So there's been a lot of programs really looking at that. When developing your mentoring relationships under the mentoring partnership, do you take into account or provide specific support for the intersectionality of participating newcomers? For example, women immigrants or immigrant youth.
Okay, so women are an important part of the workforce, and we know many companies are, through our interactions, we know are really working to, they're making a great effort to hire and retain more women across all levels of their organization. However, there is still progress to be made. And in regards to the intersectionality of women who are immigrants, I can recall there's one study that was done on women in Canada, a gender-based statistical report, I think it was 2015, and it really showed that, it stated that recent immigrant women were most likely to be employed in positions that did not match their education. And even though overall, when you compare newcomers to Canadian born, on the employment side, like the gap is narrowing, but there is a wage gap between newcomers and those that are Canadian born. There was one report that actually came out of Institute for Competitiveness and Prosperity, and it was entitled Immigration in Ontario. It was actually just last month, I think, in June. And within that report, it actually showed that there were striking differences in immigrant employment levels between genders. You know, with female immigrants were experiencing lower labor market outcomes. Female immigrants actually face lower employment rates against the Canadian-born females. And then really, it also showed that female immigrants, they never really closed the employment gap against their Canadian-born females, while the male immigrants closed their gap after like 5 years. So these findings kind of suggest that gender is relevant to immigrant outcomes. But at Triac, how we try to address these gaps is we do that through our tools and interventions that primarily help employers build workplaces that are more inclusive and welcoming to immigrants. However, in supporting organizations to be more immigrant inclusive, we really also help them to think through their diversity strategy and how they can become more inclusive for people with different and intersecting identities, right? In particular, programs help employees build, their intercultural competence, which build people from all backgrounds and identities to work successfully with each other.
Well, thanks so much. I mean, the statistics are a little bit disheartening when we think about the experiences of women immigrants. So I think this kind of mentoring partnership really could have an impact on some of those numbers as well. We've had another question come in here. In your program, can you give us a little bit more information on the specific focus on soft skills for internationally trained talent to better communicate with Canadian employers?
Okay, so the Triac campus, which I mentioned earlier, is triaccampus.ca. It covers a lot of e-learning modules on like building soft skills in Canada. But it covers, for instance, like your decision making when it comes to, team working skills. How is that done in Canada? When it comes to basically as communication skills, having the right conversations, or how do you connect with your colleagues outside of, the rigid work structure. So for instance, in Canada, there's a lot of networking and communication probably before meetings. So it's really about having them understand the nuances of the Canadian workplace, and then how does that translate into soft skills, and how is it that they were actually able to execute those appropriately when it comes to their communication skills, when it comes to team working skills. And overall also when it comes to just their decision making. How is decision making, the different management styles and decision making opportunities that will present itself? How do you navigate those situations? So the resources on the campus actually covers a wide host of those areas.
Yeah, if I may just add to that, Nicola, I think the other thing I would like to mention is that a lot of the time in the 18 hours we spend with the mentee is spent on helping them navigate from a soft skills perspective the interview process, for example, right? In terms of, because people who tend to come into this country new, they're anxious to get their job, so they tend to talk a lot, right? So they tend to talk continuously, and they cannot accept silence. And so we try to give them tips on how to really answer to the point when a question is asked by the interviewer. Keep it crisp, keep it short, and that sort of thing. So those are some of the soft skills we talk about during the mentoring process, because that's important for them to get the job, let alone whatever soft skills they need once they get the job to deliver on it.
Well, and we have another question coming here for you, Bhaskaran. I know you mentioned that it was important to make sure that there was top-level commitment to get this kind of corporate partnership running. Do you have any advice for middle managers that maybe are interested in bringing this program to their senior management as something that they will want to take on from your experience at Deloitte?
Yeah, I think if I am sort of middle management and I'm trying to write a business case to say we must become a Triac employment partner, and I'm presenting it to my bosses for their support, I think things that I would say include things such as how important mentoring is, how important the talent challenge is for Canada. And then some of the mission vision statements of Triac would come in very handy there. It's the same thing for every employer at a nucleus level, and say some of that, and say that, look, this is all free. All we are looking for from you is making it like an organization-wide accepted program, so people, for example, can write it as part of their annual plan. Just like they write a plan for what they're going to achieve in a given year, they should also put this as a plan to say, I want to become a Triac mentor and at least engage with 2 mentees during this year as part of their development skills or development goals. And I don't think any senior executive looking at it would shy away from it, because they would see it as a strategic opportunity to engage with their talent to do right things. And if anything, they're going to benefit from it in terms of any new immigrants that might be a potential employee for their own organization. So my experience has been that this has been a simple conversation. The challenging part might be when it comes to really recruiting new immigrants. That could be a bit more challenging, because we've got to convince a number of people in terms of the benefits and acceptance and non-discrimination and meritocracy-based recruitment and things of that nature. But just to become a Triac employer partner is not that big of a business case issue, is my view. Sorry for the long answer.
Thank you so much. No, I think that idea of making it something that people can write into their performance plans and having it on board is just a brilliant idea. So I really am going to think on that one for sure. Nicola, now I know you mentioned that the mentees that come on board are employed or underemployed. Do you find that once you have great success, 75% find a job, but once people have secured employment that's kind of more in line with their skill sets, are you hearing anecdotally, or do you have evidence that these kind of relationships continue, or do we find after the formal mentoring partnership relationship is done that people kind of lose contact?
Yeah, it varies. We do find that the connections do remain, because as a mentor, having gone through the process with your mentee, individuals generally become invested, right? So they really want to help this individual to progress in their career, and to really share with them information and insight. So they really want to see that they're able to eventually secure that position that is commensurate with their experience. So we do find that our mentors and our mentees, at times, they do stay in contact, if nothing else via LinkedIn, and then they occasionally will connect with each other. And then we also have mentors and mentees who became really good, for want of a better word, friends. as a result of the partnership, and they maintain that connection afterwards. But it's really based on the dynamic of the relationship that will determine how far the relationship goes after the program has ended.
Well, that's really interesting. We have had another question come in that's asking, in your experience, what seems to be the biggest challenge that mentees express when they're trying to secure that first job and get into the workforce?
Yeah. I anticipated that I may get a question like this. So if you'd allow me, Sarah, I do have a testimonial from a mentee, just to give you that mentee's perspective of the program and how it benefited them. Would that be okay?
Yes,
perfect.
Please.
So our mentee, her name is Smitha Venkat, and she wanted to join today's webinar, but unfortunately she is coming down with bronchitis. So she still really wanted to take part. So she sent the following to share with you all. And she says that I moved to Canada in 2012, excited and wanting to see the new world around me. I came with 3 years of human resource generalist experience, a master's in business administration, and I had also pursued a bachelor's in electronics engineering. I knew no one in the new country I had moved into and started my research about the Canadian job market. For about 4 months, none of my applications even landed a first call for a job interview in the HR sector. I wanted to know why. I was an indispensable resource in my home country, but was left unsought and invisible in this new country. I became desperate to find any HR professional who was willing to talk to me to find out what I was doing wrong with the job applications or to review my resume. I tried to connect with other HR professionals in my home city, Toronto, but no one accepted my request to connect on LinkedIn or respond to my messages. Soon, I walked into every possible nonprofit organization for newcomers and registered my profile, seeking career advice. All of these organizations had a program called the Mentoring Partnership Program, and the career counselors reviewed my resume, did my professional assessment, and made an application as a mentee. I was lucky enough to have found a match with a mentor, someone with professional experience in Canada who was volunteering to help a mentee. Very soon, my skills and potential were recognized, and from there on, I started my career in HR in Canada as an administrator and was moved up with various roles and opportunities. It is that connection with my mentor which made the difference in the career journey. Today, I'm an active member of the mentoring community who is very happy to mentor new immigrants. Smitha Venkat. So I read that because part of this really outlines the challenges that new immigrants face, and a big part of it is how do you connect to that job when you have absolutely no networks. So you're literally going through the regular channels of sending out resumes, sending out applications, applying online, and for a lot of mentees, it just feels as if it's going into a black hole because they do not have that network or those connections where they're actually able to gain advice, for instance, even when it comes to simple things as the type of wording that you put in your resume that will have an IT system pick up your application. So that to me is a major challenge for mentees, really being able to connect to that job market without having the network or connections that they can seek advice from to move forward.
Well, thank you so much for that answer. I think it's very thorough, and I really appreciate hearing kind of the voice of a mentee come through, so that was wonderful. We've got another question coming here, and I know you mentioned this earlier. Can you share with us any programs like this that are available anywhere else in the country? I know we have people logging in here from Vancouver and from Saskatoon, so I'm wondering if you can share with us if you know of or how to connect with this kind of program for people that aren't in the GTA.
Absolutely. So if you look on your screen, these are the other mentoring programs that are available to employers outside of the GTA. We have the my computer keeps doing that. We have the Immigrant Employment Council of BC. Their program is called Mentor Connect. There's also the Calgary Region Immigrant Employment Council. And then we also have Edmonton Immigrant Employment Council. Their program is called the Career Mentorship Program. And then there's also London Middlesex Immigrant Employment Council that's available. So outside of the GTA, employers can actually work with these immigrant employment councils to offer a mentoring program in their organization to skilled immigrants.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing with us all that information. I think it's a wonderful program, and I think there's lots of tidbits and learnings that we can all take away today. We're just about at the end of our time, so thank you to everybody for participating and learning about the mentoring partnership as well. But I think that our time has run out, but we're going to stay connected. So Nicola is a member of our Ensemble network. So for everybody listening, you can connect with her either through the details that she put on the screen, or you can reach her through the network. And a recording of today's webinar will be available on our website within a few days. So if you want to take this webinar and send it around in your organization to start getting involved in this kind of mentoring program, I encourage you to send that link around. So goodbye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and thank you again to our wonderful speakers, Nicola and Bhaskaran.
Thanks for having us.